All right. Audit and assurance mechanisms. Remember our CIA triad? We also have the aspects of accuracy and auditing here. Audit helps us know that what we did manipulate was what we wanted to manipulate. We could use sequence numbers. We can also use images of the material. To confirm that, we might also want to do verification checks of that data. How do we do that? How do we validate the data? Might want to capture a last known good and compare our current state with that last known good and see if any changes that were unauthorized or untoward were made during that time. We might want to make sure that everything's still in the range and it's the sort of data that we wanted. And we might want to know about the transactions. What's a transaction limit? Number of times something was accessed, number of times something was manipulated, the permissions were met. Auditing the information. You want to look and see if there's abnormal activity. The auditing can be automated or can be manual. You want to put some eyes on that if you can. You want to make sure that you're ensuring, again, like we talked about in the sandbox, that your new software, the new system that you're going to be fielding, is compatible with your existing systems. We talked about certification and accreditation. We'll talk about this some more in some of the later domains. The system doesn't go live until management has accepted the risk for operating the system. That's important. Again, it's senior management buy-in. Same for your governance, same for your security program. What are we saying here? What is this? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, change control procedures. You want to make sure that the information, if it's going to be modified, is being changed in an authorized manner. Again, you do a CM meeting every Monday. You have change control procedures in place before anything is modified or put into place?
Not really. I mean, it's so I'm not sure what you're asking. By policy, yes. By real controls, in most cases, but not all cases, no.
Oh, what does the meeting accomplish?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's by policy. People are not allowed.
They're not authorized to do so.
Changes, but can they? And
are there some unauthorized changes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How do you control against that? What do you
stick?
Meetings will continue until morale improves.
Yeah.
Can you revert to the last known good baseline?
In most cases, yes. Okay. Again, it controls so many systems, so not all, but
okay.
That's the ideal.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. If you can, the ideal circumstance is to have it locked down to where those changes can't be made until they've been approved. It's a tough environment you live in.
We use that part of that vulnerability tool that I talked about. Encircle they have a CCM piece of it where for critical systems, it's always scanning them and then it knows any changes that happen. Good.
And it flags those ones that have been unauthorized?
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't really know. It's not really tied in with our change control system, but we could tell if there was a change made. So we have it all documented. We don't really throw flags yet to say, hey, this has been changed and not a change control, but if something ever happens, we have it all documented from forever.
If you So if you wanted to, it would be a manual comparison. You'd have
No,
to.
I mean, it's not really manual there. I mean, it'd be manual against the change control process.
Yeah,
yes.
you'd have to read through it. You'd have to say, okay, these are the changes, and these are the ones that have been approved, and you could check off the ones that.
Right. They're not tied together. I think you could actually tie them together, but we haven't.
That's another difficult environment then too. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Thank you. Change management and configuration management. What's the difference between the two? About 6 to 7 letters, I think. It's sort of an ice cream flavor type distinction. I've heard different justifications for using the two different terms. In general, they both deal with how the software is structured, any changes made to it, going through a formal process before it's being put into production. Realistically, the two aren't all that different, and they could pretty much be done in the same meeting with the same effort. Again, you want to document everything. You want to be sure you know why the changes were made in addition to what changes were made. You can include the patch management in that. Is patch management part of your CM meeting? Or is it just an automatic process that you have set up?
It's yes and yes. So
Okay.
basically, patch management is something that is tracked in the change system, if you will, but doesn't fall by the same rigor. So we don't have to approve it if it's a critical patch, something like that.
Okay. All right.
But they have to log it.
Good. And yeah, you want to keep track of all the changes. Simple, straightforward, makes sense.